We're celebrating an important milestone as we bring you our very first book released by MNI Publishing, called Finding Purpose. And this will be the theme of all future episodes, as we present client stories from our amazing worldwide Life Between Lives facilitators. Today I am in conversation with my colleague Sophia Kramer. Sophia is an award-winning master hypnotherapist and instructor, specialising in ancestral healing, somatic trauma work, past life and life between lives regression, being one of the first to bring Bert Hellinger's family constellations to the USA. She then trained with Dr. Michael Newton in his last LBL training in 2006. She conducts private sessions, international workshops and trainings. Most of all, Sophia is a compassionate and intuitive guide for your inner journeys. Her passion is to assist you in finding your true soul's purpose and healing, so that you can be your best self, guided by your soul's compass. You mentioned, Sophia, as well that you sense a lot of younger people coming to sessions now.
Absolutely.
Is there any
Incredible young souls.
Mhm.
Sorry?
Is there any theme to what they would come for?
I get goosebumps again. I get young people as young as, in the teens and early 20s who are so connected. Definitely. I don't want to put labels on them, but definitely beings who have an incredible connection to the spirit realm, who often already bring quite a sense of purpose with them and are pretty self-directed in terms of a session. So it's a very different place for us as facilitators to navigate them, and they might go much faster than others into the spirit realm. And sometimes my job is more to kind of incarnate them into the human body, because it might be something they don't necessarily embrace or like so much, right? Because they still have a real knowledge of how it can be when we are living in a more compassionate oneness kind of environment, which I had to do the hard way through NDE, which others can do through LBL. So definitely, that's the easier way to go. I would recommend that. And not NDE, near-death experiences, but LBL. But these young people, they bring a sense of self and who they truly are as the soul or as the quantum being, the self, the consciousness, into the human form, but they need to kind of be reincarnated into the human body more than others. That's kind of my observation about them. And they usually go without, they go very fast, from womb or earlier. Some you just say, take a few breaths, close your eyes. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Just the openness to it as well.
Yeah, and I love it. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful because they, I sometimes I had children who had glimpses. I have worked with twins who were 9. The girl got a lot, the boy didn't get so much. Not that this is gender related, but it was. And the girl it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. In 45 minutes, a full-blown life between life sessions with counsel, guides, specific purpose. And that was with the consent of the parents. Of course, the parents asked me. And we're very open because the girl continued to talk about all kinds of aspects which we know from Life Between Lives, including her guides and talking about past lives, etc. So
I love that. Yeah. It's brought... in my own work, I'm a storyteller and I use a lot of metaphors to describe...
Nice. I love it.
I do. So when I'm working with younger people, I describe that the in-between state at the point of that physical death before you go back home and you're in the green room. Yeah. Just, you're in the green, especially in past life regression, you're in the green room and you're reconnecting with the souls that you've done this mission with. And then the other thing that I do is that I tell my younger ones, it's a bit like the most amazing hotel that you could imagine, with springs and doors and corridors and places. But you've made me think now that you were having that young girl, that twin, if she could do that in 45 minutes, what she might have done as well is it's like a parade of shops, of stores, isn't it? You go at the council, I'm going to pop to that one and I'm going to pop to that one. Amazing. And it's just it's how they can receive that information. Boom, boom, boom. I love that, Sophia. I love it. What you've just
And what I love is, I'm again, here it is, and I'm again so grateful and humble to what Michael left us, and I feel such a connection with him. I always said Peggy and Michael were kind of my spiritual parents, and I really want to continue to do my best. So I feel like as long as I stay open to always continue to learn, and like with this 9-year-old girl, I was really humbled. I was like, wow, I learned a lot from her. I really did. And it doesn't mean that I don't learn in other sessions, and that I don't crave to be in this realm with my clients. I love it. I love being there. I always say that's the real world for me, to be in a healing process, even in childhood, even in inner child, even in trauma work, constellation. It doesn't matter. I love being in this realm where things shift and where I'm connecting and above, below, and sit in my chair and assist. It's really beautiful. And we get so much back from these sessions in terms of our own wisdom and learning and maturity. It doesn't stop. And to come back to the questions with the younger people, I think we all will learn quite a bit from some of them who come to us now. And it's always the next evolution. Before we started, we were talking about that things very naturally progress, right? That I first did constellation, then hypnosis, then people started to go spontaneously to past life. Okay, so I had to learn that. Oh, well, then they started to talk to guides. Oh, well, then thank God I could go to the last Michael training. And no, I feel like I need something to navigate these new souls who come to this really crucial time, and many assist us and help us, and so we shall see.
And it'll come as a download. It will come some shape or form, and that's the other thing.
Definitely, it's just being open for it.
It is, and it's about surrendering to the information that's going to come to you. You've put the energy into wanting to understand this, and it'll come the way it's meant to. And that's essentially how you have a session as well, an LBL session. Just surrender, just allow what comes through to you, and just and I do a lot of
super important.
It's really important,
because your soul guides us. That's something I cannot stretch enough. The soul is guiding us. Me too. I can do everything from outside, but if the soul wants you to understand that and that, like if the soul wants to go to World War II and make you understand your guilt, which is still impacting your life today, like with Hae Kyung, right? The guilt was so huge, still sticky glue from that life. So that's not me doing it for her. That's not her mind doing it for her. The mind has no clue about it. That's why you do these sessions. So it's really, really important for everyone to understand the surrender part of it is so important. And that seems to be something which young people sometimes can do much better than us, who already have a lot of preconceived, this is how it should go, where I read all the books. And these are beautiful stories, but these are their stories. You will have your own story when you do an LBL. I had my own stories. I have done many LBLs over the time. I go easy, so at trainings, well, we need a subject. Rich Martini. In Flipside, well, we needed subject. Peter Smith did the past life regression with me where I was drowning. Oh, yeah. And guess what? I almost drowned in this life too. So talking about a past life imprint, one of the pockets you spoke about, I had to work through.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How amazing though, with these sessions, we can clear it.
It's incredible how much we can clear.
And it can be what you're learning, before, during and after your session.
Yeah.
When you integrate it,
Absolutely.
it can happen quite quickly.
And sorry for interrupting, but I think it's very important to understand, because some people ask, well, what is if I see something I'm not supposed to see? You will not see what you're not supposed to see. You will see what you are supposed to see. Now, this World War II life where he was shot and his body, whom he was somewhat feeling responsible for, wasn't. Is that comfortable to look at it? No, it's a moment of discomfort, of course. But I'm guiding you through in order to really understand why is this shown to you. And nothing will be shown to you which you can't comprehend or which you can't, at least then, as you just said, resolve over time. Maybe it's not resolved right there, snip. Like with me, with the drowning, I needed time for that. I had chronic bronchitis, which is gone.
Right.
I had chronic bronchitis for decades. I had my first round of antibiotics when I was 3 weeks old in my dad's hospital where I grew up the first months. So my mom told me later, because I had such problems. I had so many antibiotics in my life, and that was part of why I became interested in holistic medicine, because I saw, great harm from the early childhood, in my immune system. So anyhow, long story short, we talked about that some things take time, and I spoke about the flip side of Rich Martini and my experience there, and that I had when I was 3 weeks old as a little infant, my first round of antibiotics because of bronchitis. So that's how much I brought that drowning incident into this life, that it still manifests in this life. And I was 3 weeks old and already having chronic conditions here, which needed to be treated. Now, after having worked on that, that was not the only session I worked on the respiratory issues. And I've done a lot of physical things, obviously, too. But over time, it cleared up more and more and more. It took a long time. For others, it might go faster. But the fact is, chronic bronchitis is not in my life anymore. But it took time. So I wanted to encourage people that things can be cleared up. It's not a promise, and it might require multiple sessions, maybe also with different people or in different circumstances or different modalities. But it's huge what we can do with this.
Yeah.
If we allow ourselves, if we open ourselves up, and if we step in without fear, right? And trust the soul will show us, and let go, like you said, Christine. The letting go is so important.
It is, because we become very attached to outcomes. It has to be this way or that way. And, it's just, when we keep repeating the same old cycles, it's just, you get the same results. So just let it all go. And just, as long as you put the energy into what it is that you want to change, or the feelings, whatever. But again, with the physical things like that, you've really struck a chord with me, because my beautiful mum, she was born with a collapsed lung, and all the life problems with lungs. She died with this kind of thing as well, with a cancer. But she was terrified of the water. We live where we live. We live about an hour from here. I come from about an hour from North Yorkshire, the northeast of England, and we have the most beautiful coastline, beautiful beaches. And, you know, I remember spending like lots of money trying to get my mum to have, you know, Zine lessons. She did her bit, but she was terrified. And what I didn't know back then and what I know now, I helped her so much. But I don't think she was open to it, but it was just, she was resigned. That was her way of life, you know. But to hear you speak, it's really activated something in me. And these things can change, you know. So thank you for that. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you just before we finish then, Sophia, if our viewers and listeners are thinking that they would like to understand their sense of purpose or find meaning and purpose in their life, what steps would you guide them to take?
It is helpful to do something to step out of your mind, out of your conscious mind, whatever it might be. Now, there are many people who cannot meditate for various reasons or didn't learn it. I actually just worked with a client who is in science, and she's a lovely young woman, but she has the most analytical mind, also for various reasons. And as a matter of fact, when we started the first session, she thought she had to pace through her living room during I do an induction. So I went with the flow. And then after a while, she could sit down and felt safe. And then after a while, she could lay down and do imagery. And she had really an amazing session. So I will continue to work with her and see what happens. But I want to encourage people that feeling safe and allowing yourself to step out of your conscious mind, which often is a place of rescue, like trying to figure it out, trying to control, holding on to something. That would be really the first step. But don't be concerned too much in terms of not wishing to contact someone from the Newton Institute or someone to do a clinical hypnosis session with you, whatever you would choose to do, because it's practice. I mean, we are living in the human body and we have to be kind of compassionate with ourselves about that too. It is practice, definitely. And for some, it's more practice, and for more of them, it's less practice, obviously. So that's step number one, because mind has to step back and be quiet. And then obviously physical relaxation helps. So whatever helps for you to step out of it, might be yoga, might be Pilates, might be running a marathon, I don't know. For some people, it's really exertion, like really, really getting the tension out of the body and then breathing. And so that would be step number one. And then obviously, since we are talking about Michael's work, and I feel like connecting really with who you truly are through LBL is so valuable. And all the stepping stones you might have to take. For some, it might be they do talk therapy for a while and then do some inner child work, or they do somatic experiencing and trauma work. And I personally trained in all kinds of modalities in order to offer that to people, and many others did as well. So you find who resonates with you. I think that's another point. You have to really keep in mind, you don't just go to your childhood where you already kind of bear a lot of your fears and whatever it might be. No, you go to share your soul, and that's even more intimate. So to trust and feel into the person who is guiding you is very important. So have an email exchange, look at what they do, look at who is your person. I really believe we have contracts with each other too. And usually whoever comes, I hear already when we are talking in the beginning, I'm like, haha, that's why you're here. Okay. I always get a little verification, like, and both have to feel comfortable. Really.
Yeah. It's key really to the outcome of the session.
Yeah, totally. I really think it's sort of having a good feeling with each other is
and
super important.
It's important to know as well that there's no fast track. You have to do work, and that change starts with you. And people for all sorts of reasons. Mostly, this work is still not mainstream. It's specialized work. It's still not mainstream. Hypnosis, hypnotherapy is much more now. But normally they've gone through different channels before they arrive with us. And it's about doing the work on self. And, the facilitator or the person that you might select to work with you. And you might have several calls or Zoom calls or whatever to find the right person that feels right for you.
Yeah.
We're like guides on this side, working with the guides on the other side. We're here to help our potential clients, and if the connection between us is not right, then we can signpost, and especially signpost them back to the Newton Institute.
Yeah.
Also to who might feel better for them. There's no right or no wrong to the session. It's you get what you need, and we work very closely together. So amazing. Thank you, Sophia.
No, thank you.
How can our listeners, how can our viewers find you?
I'm, as I shared earlier, not a big promoter, so I do have a website, which is my name, sophiakramer.com. It's pretty easy. It's not very updated, but that would be the way to go, I guess. It's on the Newton website. I mean, it's in there. Yeah. So
thank you. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful organic conversation today. I've enjoyed it so much, and I really appreciate your time and the interaction that we've had today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. This
welcome.
Was quite an interesting experience for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I thank everybody who listens to this.
Yeah, it will. And your story was just amazing. And it's as current in modern day life now. If we keep going back to the past and the pain that we've had, sometimes memories are beautiful, but a lot of people have problems today, depression, anxiety, and other issues that they may be experiencing. A lot of it has come from, reflecting and ruminating over the past. It's robbing you of this moment in the present before you could even get to the future.
Well, and you're projecting into the future from your wounds, right, which are not healed.
Yeah,
and the anxiety increases the more you haven't healed what was behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you.
And have a lovely day. And thank you, darling. Bye for now.